Stranger Things, Suspicious Minds, 1969. In the summer of 1969, the air in Hawkins was thick with heat and the promise of change. Terry Ives, a college student with a restless heart, stepped into the sterile halls of the Hawkins National Laboratory. She sought purpose in a way to contribute to something greater than herself. Dr. Martin Brenner greeted her with a smile that didn't quite reach his cold, calculating eyes. He spoke of expanding the boundaries of the human mind, and Terry, fueled by curiosity, signed her name on the dotted line. Inside the lab, Terry discovered she wasn't the only one seeking answers. She met Alice, a quiet girl with eyes that seemed to have seen far too much for her age. Alice sat in a corner of the common room, stacking wooden blocks without ever touching them. Terry felt an immediate, protective pull toward the girl. In a world of concrete and secrets, Alice was a flicker of fragile light that Terry felt compelled to shield from the encroaching dark. The MKUltra experiments began in earnest. Dr. Brenner pushed Terry into deep states of meditation, fueled by chemicals and rhythmic pulses of light. He wasn't just looking for peace, he was looking for a doorway. As Brenner watched from behind the observation glass, Terry felt her consciousness begin to fray at the edges. She realized that the doctor didn't view them as heroes or pioneers, but as keys to be turned in a lock. During a rare moment of freedom, Terry met another subject named Vesper. He was older, with a cynical edge that spoke of years spent in the program. Vesper whispered to Terry about Project Indigo, a secret initiative hidden within the lab's deeper levels. He warned her that Brenner was looking for more than just psychic potential. He was trying to map a place that shouldn't exist. Terry realized the danger to Alice was far greater than she had imagined. Driven by a need to know the truth, Terry pushed herself further than Brenner ever asked. One afternoon, the world simply ended. She slipped into a space of absolute silence and infinite shadow. This was the void, a psychic plane where time and distance held no meaning. It was a cold, dark mirror of the world, and in its center, Terry saw the flickering tether of Alice's soul, glowing like a dying ember. Terry emerged from the void shaken, but her resolve was hardened. She found Alice in the nursery, the young girl looking pale and exhausted from her own sessions. Terry knelt beside her, promising that they would find a way out. She told Alice about the beautiful world outside the fences, the smell of the woods after rain, and the sound of music on the radio. Alice gripped Terry's hand, a silent pact formed between the two. To save Alice, Terry knew she had to master the void. She entered the sensory deprivation tank, the salt water stinging her skin as she submerged. This time, she didn't just drift, she hunted. She searched through the darkness for the blueprints of the lab, for the codes to the doors, and for a way to break the mental shackles Brenner had placed on them. The void was dangerous, but it was also her only weapon. Dr. Brenner confronted Terry the next morning. He had sensed her growing defiance and her unauthorized journeys into the deep. He stood over her, his voice a calm, terrifying silk, reminding her of the importance of their work for the nation's security. Terry stared back, no longer the naive student who had arrived in June. She saw the monster behind the mask of the scientist and knew the time for talk was over. The escape was a blur of sirens and shadows. Terry grabbed Alice from her bed, the girl's small hand trembling in hers. They ran through the labyrinthine corridors, guided by the mental map Terry had etched into her mind from the void. Behind them, guards shouted, and heavy boots thudded on the tile. Terry used every ounce of her will to keep the doors open and the path clear, her heart hammering against her ribs. They reached the perimeter fence under a canopy of stars. Terry helped Alice through a gap in the chain link, watching as the girl vanished into the safety of the dark woods. Terry stayed behind just a moment too long to ensure the path was closed, her mind burning with the effort. As the lab lights swirled behind her, Terry felt a strange peace. Alice was free, and though the void still whispered in Terry's ear, she knew the fight for the truth had only just begun.